Okay, that's number 2 down. Well done, Miles. Just to let you know, by the time it gets to Gary's speech and my own, that's 4 jokes gone already. Thank you very much. So ours will be a very short one. Now we're going to move on to the next one, an important one. And this little chap next to me is going to do the next speech. And that's the groom himself, Robbie Denyon.
Good evening and salam. Ladies, gentlemen, family, friends, and Essie. On behalf of my wife and I, we would like to start by saying a huge thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. It feels like our wedding, or as Bonnie's been affectionately calling it, her wedding, has been a really long time coming, and it truly means the world you're here to share our special day. It's safe to say that today really wouldn't have been the same without you all. However, all of our bank balances would have looked much better if you weren't. Some of you have travelled incredible distances to be here with us today. We've got guests with us from Iran, from Southport, Hull, bless you, Derby, Leicester, London, Southampton, Northampton, half the United Kingdom, Raunds, Kettering, and even Costa del Corby. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for making such an effort. It's really amazed me just how far some people will come for a free Sunday lunch. That's another joke gone. Sadly, there are also a number of people who mean a great deal to both Bonnie and I that can't be here with us. However, I'm sure that they will all be here in spirit and are smiling down on us today. So can I ask you all to please stand and raise your glasses in a toast to absent friends and family. Thank you. Thank you to Sasan and Miles for your amazing speeches. I must admit I was getting a little bit nervous that Sas was going to deliver his in 2 languages, and then you would all expect us to do the same thing, but thankfully he stuck to English, so the pressure's off. Just like me, Bonnie is lucky enough to not have just 2 parents, but 4 brilliant parents. I'd like to take a moment to say what a magnificent job those 4 parents have done in raising such an amazing, loving and intelligent person who is beautiful inside and out. So, thank you to my mum, dad, Sam and Chris for doing that. You must all be very proud. And that felt really weird using the word mum and dad in the same sentence. In fact, this is the 3rd day in a row you've been sat at the same table, which is even weirder. In all seriousness, though, Bonnie's parents and step-parents have raised 1 in a million. I've seen firsthand the skills and qualities that Bonnie's picked up from each of them, and she's collected them through life like superpowers. From her mum, she's inherited her caring nature, beauty and humour. Honestly, Gail, that had nothing to do with the fact you paid so much for the wedding. Although I would be lying if I didn't also point out that Bonnie's love of cakes, gin and rosé definitely comes from her mum as well. From Miles, she's picked up a skill that comes in handy every Christmas. He's provided Bonnie with a love of board games and a musical education. Miles transformed Bonnie into a music quiz expert, and she can often name songs that are much older than she is within just a few seconds. She's like a walking hurdle. And from Kathy, she's picked up the ability to be an incredible hostess, which is why our house is usually full of people most weekends and weekdays, basically all the time. But she still cannot compete with your fruit platters yet, Kathy. And finally, from her dad, Sasan, she has picked up incredible family values. I'm still in awe that Sasan's mum and sister live in Derby and his brother in Northampton with some of their extended family in Iran. Yet they're always making the effort to see each other regularly and are there for each other when it matters. My dad lives around the corner and I see him every now and again. I'd also like to thank Sass for providing Bonnie with the most incredible skill of all, which is her ability to complain in a restaurant and ensure that we never have to pay full price. And I know that a number of you in here have also benefited from that, so if you want to get Sass a whiskey at the bar later, then feel free to say thank you. From the very first day that Bonnie introduced me, you all welcomed me with open arms and my kids into your family, and you made me feel like I'd been part of your family forever. I'm eternally grateful for that, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you and say that your warmth explains why Bonnie possesses so many of her greatest qualities. As a parent, one clap, thank you for that one, I appreciate it. There's a fiver waiting for you later. As a parent myself, I know that I will never see anyone as good enough for my daughters, so thank you for at least pretending to my face that I'm good enough for yours. I honestly couldn't have asked for better in-laws, and while we have 130, and actually evening guests starting to arrive, so maybe even a bit more, witnesses with us, I just want to promise you that I will love and protect your daughter for the rest of my life and do everything I can to make her dreams come true. Of course, I would also like to say a massive thank you for your generous contributions towards our wedding day. We honestly couldn't have done it without you. I'm sure Sasan is very relieved that Bonnie is an only child. And I'm sure that Gail is banking on neither Harry or Miles wanting to get married anytime soon. So if I could ask you all to please raise your glasses to Bonnie's parents and step-parents, to Gail, Miles, Sasan and Kathy. Which brings me on nicely to my own parents, otherwise known as Martin Yull and Yoda. Firstly, I'd like to thank you both for producing such an incredible son. Gary is such a great guy, but sadly I followed, sorry about that. To say thank you to you both just doesn't seem enough. The biggest compliment I can pay is that all of my childhood memories are happy ones. I've always been extremely grateful for the upbringing that I had and how hard you both worked. No matter what happened in life, you made sure that we were all happy as a priority, and that's never changed to this day in adulthood. It makes me so proud to see you both happily married to my amazing step-parents, and thank you for bringing Sam and Chris into our family. I love you all very much, and of course, thank you for helping to ensure we'll be spending the next 10 days relaxing in the sun on our honeymoon. So can you all please raise your glass for my dad, Sam, my mum, and Chris. Mine is just a list of thank yous, so I hope you're enjoying the drink. And that brings me on to my beautiful wife, Bonnie. You honestly don't realise how proud I am to be able to call you that. Nothing could have prepared me for seeing you walking down the aisle today. You look so beautiful, and it's a memory that will stay with me forever. You've done an amazing job with every detail of today, spending countless hours organising things to create the perfect wedding. I'm sure that everyone here will agree that you've definitely succeeded, and luckily for you, you've even ended up with the perfect husband. You're the most honest, loyal, generous, caring and hard-working person that I've ever known, and words can honestly not describe what you mean to me. The one question that I've been getting asked over the past few weeks, and a fair few times again today, is, are you nervous yet? And in all honesty, the answer is no. I haven't felt nervous once, because I've never been so sure of anything in my life that me and Bonnie belong together, so there's nothing to be nervous about. I can't imagine my life without... That's it, my time's up. Cut me off. I can't imagine my life without you at the centre of it, and promise to spend every day trying to make you as happy as you make me. We've certainly come a long way from Bonnie swiping right on all the ugly girls on Tinder when I was newly single, to our lunchtime visits to McDonald's, our first kiss on Red Nose Day, and our first date watching Beauty and the Beast in Northampton. The only regret that I have is that I didn't meet you sooner, so that I could have loved you for longer. I may not have been your first kiss, your first date, or your first love, but I'm proud to be the last and can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. So I just want to end it with two sentences. Du set daram. I love you. So please join me in raising a glass in a toast to my beautiful wife, Mrs. Bonnie Dunyan. I've still still got a few more thank yous that I'd like to give just before you finally get rid of me. Firstly, to Maz, Sally, Marjan and Fashid for organising the Persian ceremony, which meant an awful lot to us both. Also, Sarah, Sheena and one-armed Jade for your help earlier this week with the centrepieces and the table plan. This was followed by Sian building favour boxes in our kitchen until the early hours of Thursday morning, and then wishing me a happy birthday as she left. And then after that, she became a van driver yesterday to get everything here for the wedding, so thanks for that, Sian. I'm glad we weren't in the van with you. 1 for your speed and 2 for the Westlife music. But I think this just proves that not all heroes wear capes, so you all did an amazing job, and we're so grateful for your kindness. To our ushers, Kai and Harry, who went missing when we needed you as ushers. But, well done for being away from your computers for so long. I really appreciate that. And to be honest, I haven't seen any ushering like that since the Confessions album in 2004. And I'd also just like to thank Dodford Manor for hosting us today. We've had an amazing time and we'll be forever in your debt. At this point, I would also just like to remind everybody to please sign the guest book up there at some point today while you're here. And while you've got the pen in your hand, if you can find Jade, I'm sure she'll let you sign her cast as well. Which brings me on seamlessly to the bridesmaids and flower girls, all 550 of them. First of all, I'm sure you'll all agree how beautiful each and every one of them looked today. But for me, there were 2 that really stood out and got me very emotional as they walked down the aisle. And that is my 2 daughters, Ellie and Holly. I just want to say how proud we are of the young women that you've grown into, and it's been lovely to see you so excited for today. Thank you for everything you've done to help us, even though you did always take Bonnie's side over mine whenever we were discussing the wedding, and I am definitely outnumbered in our house. Your reward is to have an amazing stepmom in your corner for the rest of your lives who loves you a lot. And I know that you both feel as lucky to have Bonnie as part of our family as I do. And you're going to set me off. We also like to thank our beautiful nieces, Adriana, Sienna, Emmy and Aria, who all did an amazing job alongside Bonnie's cousin and my friend, Maz, my sister Kerry, and our sister-in-law Angelina. And not forgetting Bonnie's friends, the Loud Table, who have accepted me as one of the honorary girls since we first got together. Whether it's been Love Island parties on the projector or chili con carne Thursdays, there have been too many times to remember that I've walked down the stairs into a room of that lot, sat in their joggers, pigging out on sweets and chocolate. They even decorated the house and organised a surprise party for us when we got back from Dublin engaged in 2018. So I'd just like to say thank you to Amy, Bianca, Charlie, Jade, Jodie, Kerry Lee, need to take a breath, there's so many of them, and Sian for all that you do. I'm so thankful that Bonnie has such an incredible group of close-knit friends and that you're all there to support each other. In fact, there's a special thank you that does have to go to Sian and Kerry Lee for keeping Bonnie calm and being there throughout the planning of our wedding. From dog sitting to late night walks and much more, they've been a constant source of support and more importantly have meant that I haven't had to deal with Bonnie being too stressed. They've actually been around so much lately that I was half expecting them to change their surnames to Dunyan today as well. So could you please be upstanding and raise a glass to our army of bridesmaids. And you'll be pleased to know that that brings me on finally to my 2 best men, Robert and Gary, also known as my dad and brother. Thankfully, it's just the 2 of them today. Until the age of about 15, I was actually convinced I had 2 brothers. And that was because Gary spent so much time looking at himself in the mirror, I thought he was twins. But My dad and Gaz are both so much more than just family to me. They're my best friends, and I feel proud to have them by my side through life, even when they're making me walk around Benidorm dressed as a cheerleader or Newcastle dressed as Snow White. Luckily, I had the legs for it. But as I passed over to them for their speech, I'd just like to remind you my dad is getting a bit older these days. His memory isn't what it used to be. And as we have the same name, he often remembers stories about him being about me, which is just a bit awkward. So please humour him, but bear in mind that the really embarrassing parts are definitely not about me. And I'd like to say that my brother is there alongside him to ensure that he stays on track, because you'd imagine having quite a successful career comes with being much sharper of mind. But then I remember this is also the guy who believed Amazon only sold books until midway through lockdown. He acted like Christopher Columbus discovering America when he realised that they actually sold much more than that. And Amazon now think he's actually a business because he orders so much from them. So, mercy and thank you for listening to me for so long. I hope you've enjoyed your day so far and are looking forward to celebrating more with us tonight. So can you please raise the roof for my best man double act, the hosts of Every Night Takeaway and I've Drunk Too Much, Get Me Out of Here. Put your hands together for Ant and Dick.